What's up, guys? I'm having my morning espresso, walking around, flaneuring. Flaneuring means walking around with no particular aim, just letting myself sense my next direction based on my deepest intuition, allowing my sense of smell, hearing, and sight to guide, as well as the different, you could say, strings, like almost like guitar strings inside my being that can sort of pick up on the vibrations in the environment, like a spider web almost, that can pick up on very small movements on its web. I feel like the human animal has a web as well, but its web is not something physical in the same way a spider web is. It's I don't want to say it's in a different dimension. It's just imperceptible in the light spectrum that our eyes have access to. So today I'm going to start recording some of my fitness routines so you guys can understand how I operate and how I'm capable of staying quite lean despite not following a very strict protocol, and fully natty, of course. Not that I'm big enough for you guys to really wonder, but I've been asked before if I'm natty a couple times. Some people think it. No one's natty anymore, and I can assure you I'm natty. In a world of Ozempic and TRT and fucking whatever else they got, ashwagandha and magnesium and who the fuck else knows what, people don't really think the natural way is possible anymore. But I don't think it's worth the risk for a couple extra pounds of muscle to go on some steroid, especially as a young guy. Have you guys seen those videos where people, young guys, are dying because they're getting on steroids and stuff early in life these days? One of the most famous examples was the guy that always used to say, "We're all gonna make it." I think he was like Indian or something. Shit. You guys know who I'm talking about. Shareed, whatever. He was a cool, very handsome bodybuilder, very young, maybe like 19 or 20, and he died like 25 maybe or something, like really young. The guy was on a lot of gear. But yeah, I'm gonna share some routines with you guys that are on point, simple, and lately I haven't even really been hitting the gym. I just go to the park. I'm here in Tbilisi, Georgia, the beautiful ancient city of the Caucasus, the edge of empires. From my mother's side of the family, we come from here. Connecting with my culture, living life, living the dream. Feeling a lot more calm than I was in the US, to be honest. Oh my God. I just feel more relaxed walking around these streets. Something about being in a country that feels more at home. Don't get me wrong, I love the US. Huge fan. Thank you to our veterans and all that. And definitely paid more than a tax dollar for the US. But overall quality of life, for someone like me anyway, I need a place like this. I need to be in Europe, I think, to really feel isn't really considered Europe. I mean, some people consider it Europe, but I need to be in a place like that to really feel at ease. Yeah, it's less stable here politically or geopolitically. It's a little bit less safe in some ways than the U.S. from a geopolitical standpoint, but on the actual streets, I would say it's much safer here, actually. All right, my arm is like falling off right now. Fuck. Holding the camera in front of my face for some reason is like cramping up my arm. I need to warm up more. Hold on. All right, now I'm using a different arm. So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about workouts. Let me know what you guys think. I might come out with an entire course and sell it on simple workouts you could do anywhere, as well as bachelor recipes, aka recipes for dudes that are, on the go, guys that are single and don't have a girlfriend yet and can't really have them do any cooking or whatever. Basically guys that are on their own, right? So we're going to talk about bachelor recipes, we're going to talk about workouts, we're going to talk about minimalistic workout plans, no long fancy bodybuilding bullshit. Yeah, we're going to talk about all that and then some. We're going to talk about interesting tricks to kind of get you more focused on your workout, because a lot of you guys don't focus, man. You guys are just all over the fucking place and you kind of waste your workout. If you actually focus on what you're doing, you get a much better workout in with less reps. We're going to talk about rep ranges. We're going to talk about sets. I'm going to the workout park right now. Love the cobblestone streets. Are any of you guys outside of the US? If so, where are you? Are some of you in Prague? Are some of you in France? Are some of you in Asia or the Middle East? I'm curious where you guys are. But yeah, I'm looking to share what I call non-linear training principles. I'm not the first necessarily to coin this. I'm just a practitioner of this style. And dynamic or non-linear training protocols are all about flexibility and allowing yourself to basically train in a way that is in line with your bandwidth. And your bandwidth is basically your internal space that you have in terms of energy, in terms of focus, in terms of motivation. And it's kind of a naturalistic way of training, as in you rely on your own nature's energy level. This is not a protocol based on really forcing yourself too much. Some of you probably have to go through a phase where you experiment with forcing just to see what that feels like for you. Can be very useful, sort of self-exploration. But overall, I'm a big believer in concepts as well, such as priming. What does that mean? When you start a pump or any kind of engine or something that needs a little bit of lubricant, to get primed, some water. The system, we're gonna train based on psychological principles of the human mind, and we're not gonna treat the human mind as a machine. We're not gonna treat it as a robot, as a computer. We are biological creatures, and as such, we require principles that address our biological natures. Some might even say we're spiritual creatures. So, spiritual, biological. And how do you address spirituo-biological mechanisms in training? And one of the ways you do this is through priming. Priming is when you have a lot of resistance to training, when you have low motivation. I recommend a few sessions of training where you just sort of go to the gym or the park and you just touch the bar. Touching the bar is an example of priming your mechanism, your internal biological motivational mechanism to release resistance. So what that means, for example, is if you're going through a low motivation period, if you were my client, I would tell you, hey, let's go to the park today. We could be on WhatsApp talking like this, or I could leave you a video message, or we could be on a call, and I could say, I want you to go to the park today and just do 1 push-up. Sounds fucking crazy. Maybe you're gonna want to do 10 push-ups or 20, but the point is you're doing something really small. Something that doesn't overwhelm your system, and you're priming your motivational system. Once your body recognizes that it's not that big of a deal to move, it'll start releasing resistance, and you'll start feeling more ready emotionally and mentally to take on a stronger challenge. But I have to prime myself all the time. Even if I stop training for a week, my first 2 sessions are usually priming sessions, unless I'm particularly motivated for some reason. But if I'm having a lot of emotional stagnation, especially if shit's happening in my life and I'm not feeling really good, then priming is essential. And sometimes I have to spend weeks in a state of kind of low barrier of entry training protocols. Maybe the first time I'll go to the gym, I'll hit 1 set. The second time I'll hit 2. The third time I'll just kind of stretch. And then one day I come in and I just fucking annihilate it. I do I'll go to the park and do 20 sprints and then 100 push-ups or whatever, right? I needed those several training sessions where I just kind of allowed my mind to make the proper association again with training, because it's very easy for the mind to lose association with positive emotions when it comes to any kind of tasks like working out. Pretty much anything that requires some effort is something that our mind can easily lose association, positive association on. And this mechanism applies to a lot of different aspects of any kind of effortful activity. It could be work, it could be meditation, it could be reading. A lot of times if I'm not in a good flow of reading, I have to prime myself. I have to read a page per day, a page a day. And then one day I'll sit down and I'll knock out 3 hours of reading. So this is something I've noticed, and there are actually other implications of this mechanism when it comes to, say, seduction, game. If you're with a woman and you're trying to kind of, move things in a certain direction, then you can also kind of prime her mechanism a little bit. And what I mean is I don't know, even having a conversation about something rather sexy, one of my favorite topics would be the Eastern traditions around sexuality, like Tantra. It's an interesting topic, just from a historic perspective, so if you start talking about these kind of topics, you're sort of planting the seed, you're sort of priming the conversation and eventually the behavior in that direction. So we're gonna talk about this concept a lot when it comes to training. Psychologic, the logic of the psyche concepts are extremely important, and I think they're going to be a unique aspect of my training tutorials. So yes, I'm gonna also show you a park, actually. I might even just continue the video until the park. It's like right there. So I'm gonna just keep going on my little, rant here. This is an old Soviet style concrete structure park. You'll see it's got some very rudimentary it's got a very rudimentary layout. It's kind of rugged, kind of Fight Club-esque. I like to do my training there because really I believe you don't need a whole lot of equipment to train. I like to do stuff that utilizes the whole body. I like old school full body movements. So yeah, I'm gonna show you this place. Mostly pull-ups, some leg raises, and then of course push-ups. Squats don't really require anything except a surface. So let's see what you guys think about this. I wish I could flip the freaking video, but I can't. So I'm gonna have to just turn the camera and show you guys this little Soviet style training park for kids. And what I noticed too is here in Georgia, a lot of kids do like parkour. You don't see this a lot in the US anymore. Kids in the US usually at home on their screens, but here in Georgia you still see a lot of kids. It's like Wednesday afternoon, so people are busy, but you still usually see a lot of kids here doing parkour, jumping from surfaces. There's not a whole lot of, there's really no soft, cushy surfaces here. So if you fall, you kind of bust your ass. And yeah, these kids kind of get used to that risk factor early on in life. That's kind of how I grew up in Queens in New York City. Playing around on stuff like this. So soccer moms, you gotta let your kids, Jordan Peterson was right, you gotta let the kids skateboard or whatever the fuck that rule was. So yeah, I'm gonna start recording some videos for you guys, man. Fucking enjoy. All right, so started warming up a little bit. I wanna introduce a concept called, you can call it non-linear terrain warm-ups. When you're in a place like this, I'm blessed to have this sort of old school Soviet structure. And basically, great place to just warm up. And like, people sit around on some stupid mat, shaking their hips or whatever the fuck they do, when they should be doing stuff like this that actually activates real world, scenario style movement. So I'm gonna, hopefully you can actually see. I'm gonna put the video or the camera here somewhere. Just using your body in all kinds of different ways, crouching, jumping, turning, and using that as a warm-up for any kind of workout, whether it's sprints, push-ups, pull-ups, and so on. So that's kind of a good example of, again, non-linear training, just moving the body. There's a similar concept from this company or whatever, they're called MoveNat. It's this training style, it means like move natural. They kind of do like climbing trees and cartwheels and shit like that. And it's not really I don't think anybody could really lay claim to the idea of just natural movement, but I guess where the idea that differs here a little bit is, again, it's just a warm-up method, and then afterwards you do your pull-ups. etc. But this could also be a standalone thing just to get you back into your body. And from that lens, it could be seen almost as a spiritual practice. You know, like meditation is about kind of snapping out of your mental loops and sort of interrupting it with a more concentrated and powerful posture that isn't characterized by frantic movement and destabilized consciousness hopping around. You know, the Buddhists call it monkey mind. You know, today I was kind of hungover, so for me that was good. I needed that pattern interrupt. You know, when most people are hungover, what do? They sit home and watch Netflix. It's their excuse to do jack shit. And I get that, been there, especially when I'm really fucking hungover. But the next level is a little bit of movement, just to break the pattern and kind of connect with your body and sort of prime your system for future training, so that, you know, getting back in the flow of things isn't going to be so tough if you've kind of kept yourself a little bit on. You know, if you don't extinguish the flame completely and you keep a few embers, you're gonna have a easier time lighting a fire, you know what I mean? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I might do another 5 or 10 minute session later on in the house. Maybe I'll do 50 push-ups, some pull-ups. People ask me how I stay lean. That's how. I kind of just never kill the flame completely. Even when I have all the excuses to, I usually do a little something, even one fucking push-up, just to keep my system from thinking that I'm somehow too stiff or just, you know, somehow unable to do anything physical just because I feel a little stiff or just because I feel a little groggy or whatever, right? And another thing I love about Georgia is that it forces you to kind of hike all the time because it's so freaking hilly. We're in the mountains here, we're in the Caucasus, and the whole fucking city's built on hills, man. So every time I go to my place, I'm basically hiking. You know, it's easy to forget sometimes that I'm doing like a steep uphill climb just to go home, especially with groceries. Comes a workout. So we gotta be grateful for that. Whereas in the US, it would have been this whole thing, right? This whole structured routine. I'm gonna set the incline to whatever, 3.0 or whatever, and here I'm basically on incline all fucking day. So it's funny how, like, you don't always need a gym. This is how Europeans and stuff manage to stay fit a lot of times, because their cities are just naturally more challenging to navigate, but in a pleasurable way and more beautiful. American cities, by contrast, are often characterized by the need for a vehicle every fucking where you go, right? And what does that do to you? You never get your steps in. You're constantly sitting. You go from your office chair to your car. So, yeah, I'm fucking climbing up more stairs now. Here I easily do a good 6 miles a day, easily. A 10-mile day is not rare by any means. Yeah. Maybe you guys should get one of those walking treadmill things. Anyways, peace.